So good day. It is a lovely Thursday morning. I'm kind of in recoil mode. That's what I'm going to call this video. I was trying to think of a more clever title, but that's pretty much where it stands. I've achieved a really great milestone in my life of wrapping up soundtrack. I did essentially 140 minutes of music in a few weeks, and not steady either. So it was a really big focused period for me. I think some of the biggest reasons for that for me is my creativity has always been very linked in with coffee drinking and marijuana smoking. And so I have been straight edge now for, and I'm liking that term. I really connect with that term and that aspect of culture and kind of the way it goes into punk rock. And for me, it's an interesting sort of conundrum or juxtaposition of thinking. I love things that don't seem like they go together. Punk rock and straight edge. Yet it seems like some of the more serious people into the ethics of punk rock, and this is more the sort of, it's the kind of vegans that kind of really, and I do have a big respect for these kind of vegans that don't really so much care about the nutrition thing, that are into the sustainability issue, the being kind to the animals, the sort of all of those elements, which a lot of the world I come from, and even the reason I got into being vegan was for purely nutrition and purely selfish. So anyway, so yeah, what I needed to talk about was I've been doing a blended fast and fasting and getting into the idea of fasting. It is not something that I have been doing a heck of a lot since I started blogging on YouTube back in 2009, but it is something that I was doing a lot of when I first became a raw foodist, and seems like I got out of it when I started getting emotionally kind of messed up a little bit with my relationships, with my relationship to music, with my relationship to my father, who at the time I used to work for, and with my relationship, just in general relationships. And it's a big point on this blog that I'm going to stick with, is talking about some of the things that are outside of what you put in your mouth. And that's where I'm at right now, is I'm avoiding putting things in my mouth to chew. That whole emotional sort of distraction of dealing with our essence of like how eating and being in relationships with people and hanging out with people, like where I'm going is completely into deeper retract mode of being a little bit more of a hermit, of getting a little bit more into my thoughts, of thinking about the things that are not so pretty, that I haven't processed. So, where I'm at is this awareness of not only this new moon, full moon cycle in the magical part of all of this that I'm going to be bringing across relentlessly. I mean, I see there's every vegan, every health food person, everybody who's had this new switch on YouTube is now like some kind of an expert or something, and I'm glad for people getting out there, but there's like, oh my god, there's like so much just rubbish out there, and people doing these fabulous little like super video edited thing, and I'm not about that. So I'm bringing in the whole more thing of what I am, and getting you to ride along with me. And a big part of this like nutrition thing now is the magical element, the pagan element, which we need to get rid of the dominating presence, the matrix thinking of the central religions of the world. Christianity, Buddhism, Hinduism, Muslim. I'm at a loss for other ones. Maybe that's them. That's for the biggies for sure. Capitalism as a religion. The thing is getting connected with nature. Magical thinking, pagan thinking, Wicca is a connection with nature. And I think one of the most important things to do is to connect in with the seasons and to connect in with the phase of the moon, to like know what's going on that affects us. And so in this cycle of what I'm going on, I'm playing with adapting how I'm going to do this. Right now I'm getting to the full moon. But we're in between this period of Halloween, Samhain, and winter solstice, the return of the sun. That is a time of reflection, a time of getting inside yourself and sorting through everything that's happened. And so I may continue the fast till winter solstice, which is this a whole other kind of full moon way, this like expanding thing. Like the full moon is this like this glorious move of opening up, and then the winter solstice. In fact, I remember one of my first like sort of glorious, amazing times of realizing the power of the astrology and all of that stuff was a time when I was about 22 or 23, when there was a full moon and a winter solstice on the same day, and I was like, oh my god. Not just that it happened, but I did a lot of ritual, and I was involved in a new age group. This was back 22. When I was 22, it was like 1985. So it's a whole beginning of the new age movement or whatever. So I'm thinking of carrying that all the way through. Maybe, maybe not. The important thing for me is to stay synchronized with nature, of like meditating whenever I can, of just slipping in for a couple minutes. But a big thing that's going on with me is the recoil, the becoming more of the hermit, not being so involved in all this little chatter and yakking and the need to like eat, and when you're around other people, it's just I don't have access to like really cool people, and sometimes your really cool people are the ones that are your worst enemy for evolution, and that's kind of what happened to me with this whole like situation with boyfriend kind of thing that was like a total wellness person. It was a big setback for me. I always do well in a solitary situation myself. That's just my thing. So wanted to talk about a few tarot cards here. These are usually negative tarot cards. The setback card in the Voyager deck. A setback. Think about that. There's always a positive aspect to everything. A setback is a a stepping back, a going inside. And this is that part of like culture where it's always like move forward, more, acquire. Sometimes we need to set back, we need to withdraw, we need to think about stuff. Out of darkness cometh light. This idea of like, it's not an idea, it's a truth of where if everything was peachy bitchin' all the time, nothing would get achieved. And so I was like actually chatting with somebody on Facebook that was like kind of having a hard time and was like sort of broke and everything. Crystal, and that's her name. And I was like, those bad times are the times when we like really sort ourselves out, basically, of getting inside, because it's just like those good times are just like move, go, and you don't really think about stuff. So disappointment. This time I went through with this sort of boyfriend figure. I'm hesitant to call it total boyfriend, but it turned out to be one of the hugest disappointments in my life. It gutted the fuck out of me. Like, you don't fucking know. Like, in the worst way. That was like kind of when I had this little gay period, because I got a fucking big inundation with a bunch of homophobia from like, that's all I'm gonna go into with it, because that happened, I'm where I am now, and out of this like whole like just really darkness of having to go through and reassess myself, and now I'm wanting to stir it up. That's like, I want more. I want more of that. I want more disappointment. I want to dig in there and I want to fucking find out about all the fucking shit, like inside myself, all of that all those like demons and ghosts and things that I have acquired from like not dealing with it. And I'm a very emotional person. And I had this like psychic reading, and she told me that like, oh, you're very, very emotional. That's not good. She goes, oh, but you're an artist, so that is really good. So I want to grow from this and like be aware that I am this ultra emotional person, and like now have the foresight of being careful with who I let around me. So the last card is stagnation. That's another one that people might, you can't see it on there. Damn, the mirror image. Stagnation is a card, 8 of Cups in the Voyager deck. Stagnation, you think of like not moving, stuck, like whatever, but that's a meditative state. Out of stagnant waters where life starts. And again, it's this idea of like, this is the period that we're in right now, of this between Samhain, Halloween, and sun return, winter solstice, of this like still pool of, as it gets really cold and the weather's changing, of this period of reflection. So I think probably I need to get going. Oh my god. Anyways, this is Keith, Live Rockstar. Support me by supporting my videos, comment, and goddamn, what's up with the YouTube comments and stuff like that? I guess you gotta be a Google Plus person. I still haven't figured it all out yet, so it's like kind of bullshit in my department. It sort of eliminates a lot of the interconnecting, but support me by subscribing to me, supporting my videos. Links in the drop down box to first off some of the things I mentioned, some of my videos. Buy CDs from me. If you buy directly from me, you get inside the inside group there. There's digital downloads at CD Baby and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, check out my drop down box. Bright blessings. I wish you all like an awesome time. I'll be back on before the full moon cleanse, and I'll probably do a rather excessive and self-indulgent upload during the full moon. Peace.